Hi, this is Linda Price, and I wanted to come to you today to do a tatting video. And I've been working on this order, and I thought I would just, it's something different. So, and I haven't made a tatting video on this particular piece before, so I wanted to do that today. And the piece looks like this. It's actually two rows. First row has the rings, but the second row just has chains. And I have these on my Etsy, and I sell them in groups of 5, and so that's what it looks like in purple. And I give an extra color just so you can see what it looks like in color, which this is sort of like a light purple or a dark lavender. And so this is what we're going to work on today, this right here. So let's just get started. I'm going to get my glasses on. And I always need a needle threader because this is a tatting needle. And if you want to, I'm not going to get into the way to tat because I do have a video on beginning tatting, which will tell you how to basically start to tat, because this would take forever to do. So just watch that first if you are interested in trying this. And this is a tatting needle. I'll just tell you it's a tatting needle, and it has a little eye up here, and it's not like a regular needle because it's not sharp. You don't want to use a regular long needle like a darning needle or things like that, because you will be hitting yourself and poking yourself a lot, and it will hurt. So I wouldn't do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and thread this needle. And how I do this one, I'm gonna put my thread down on the floor. I get my crochet thread at Hobby Lobby. It's not very expensive, and I get size 10. And this is a size 5 tatting needle. You can even buy your needles normally at Hobby Lobby, or you can order them on Amazon. You usually get 3 needles, a size 3, 5, and 7. The 3 is a very skinny, harder to, especially if you're first learning to tat, you wouldn't want to start with a 3 because it's very small. The 7 is too thick to me, so the 5 is just right. So that's why I use the 5 mostly. I do use the 3 at times, depending on what I'm doing. And for this particular thing, I need a long tail, which it's probably going to be about a foot. And when you pull this up, the bottom of this U needs to be as long as the tail. So there's my U with my tail. And how I start, I'm going to have to go a little bit sideways here. You don't want to loop it over. You want to keep it on the back of your finger. If you loop it over, you're not going to be able to tat. So this is just the way you have to do it. It's in the back of my finger. It's not looped over. So those of you who are knowing how to tat or have looked at the beginning tatting video, you know how to start. You'll start with go through the front of your finger, the back of your finger, front of your finger, back of your finger. And I'm going to do a ring now. So I did two double stitches. I'm going to do a picot. So I did a picot about that size. And now pull it together, and so it makes the petal of the flower, really. So, and I'm going to do 5 of these. I put 2 stitches between each one. So here's another one, 2 stitches, and then I'll do a picot, 2 stitches, picot, 2 stitches, picot, 2 stitches. And if they're not all even, you can kind of pull them down to where they will be pretty even. And then you'll pull this off the back of your needle. And you'll see this loop down here. You have to put your needle through that loop to make it join. So it's going to look like this. Oops. Gotta pull this over here a little bit. And I'm going to put a little knot in it. So this is what it looks like. All right, so I'm going to take my needle and lay it in the middle, right on top, lay it right top, and I'm going to do a chain. So I'm going to do 5 double stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5. And sometimes they'll scoot over on each other, so you have to have them very even. So you see that, that's 5 double stitches, and I'm going to do 1 small picot, just a small one, not a real small one, and then do 5 more double stitches. So this is what it's going to look like. So you pull it off. This time you don't join it, you just let it, you just pull it till it goes through the stitches, and then you tie a knot at the end. Every time you finish, you have to tie a knot, otherwise it's going to be too loose. So there you go, there's what this looks like. Now this next part, when you do the ring and the chain and the ring and the chain and ring and chain, if you go through the first picot, you'll make it straight. If you go through the second picot, you'll make it curved. So that's how I do my medallions. That's how I do my frames. I make them curved. I mean, you can still do it straight and get it into a circle, but it flows much easier if you go into the second picot. But that means you have to do a picot before you go into the ring. So I turn it around and put my needle in the middle again, just like my video shows. So I'm going to do 2 double stitches and 1 picot. I have to do that before I will join. So that's what this looks like, 1 picot. And then I'll go into that second picot, right here, into the second one. And yarn over from the back. And you'll have to look at my video to see how to do this, because it's you have to get this picot up on this needle. And if you watch my beginning tatting video, you'll see. And then I do the second half of the stitch, double stitch, and then I put another stitch on there. So here you go. There's the 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, actually it's 2. 1, 2. And we have to have 5 picots in this chain. So I have to do 3 more because there's just 2. This is not part of it. It's just 2. So I'm going to do 3 more picots with double stitches between them. So I'm going to keep doing this. You see there's the 5. And you pull this off and keep your finger in the loop so you will not lose the end of your thread. You have to make this ring, and you have to make a knot. So there you go, there's 2 of them right there. try to get the middle of the little rings about the same. You don't want one big and one little, and it's faster. If I can go faster and it's easier. When I have to go slow like this, it really becomes difficult. And you can see these two picots right here, and you can see where I went into the second one. So I'm going to do 5 of these, and it's going to complete this one. There's 5 of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay, so let's just go back and start again. We're going to do the chain. We just did a ring. I try to keep it easy to think about. 5 double stitches, 5 double stitches, then a picot, small one, and 5 more double stitches. 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then I pull it off. So there you go. So I'm going to turn it over and make my ring. 1, 2, and I have to, first of all, I have to remember we do a picot, because it's going to make it turn, it's going to make it curve, and go into the second picot of the last ring, and get that onto the needle, and then 2 double stitches, and then I have to do 3 more picots to make 5. 1, 2, 3. And before you know it, you've got 3 rings. You only need 2 more to make this. I'm going to tie a knot. See, we got 3 rings, right? So let's do 2 more. Got to do the chain now. 5 of the chain. 2, 3, 4, 5. And a small picot. 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. And pull it off. And get it lined up. And one thing about tatting is it can twist. You don't want any twists anywhere. You don't see any twists. It's all even, all like going in one direction. So I'm going to do another ring. First of all, I have to do the 1 picot to make it curve. Whoops. That could have twisted if I kept going. So there I go. And then I got to go into the second picot. I know this is hard to see, but it's so small. All right. And then I've got to do my 2 double stitches. And you'll see right there, my picot's right here. And then I got that next picot up onto the needle. And I got to do 3 more. I've got to do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So I'm going to pull this off and put to join it, put my needle through the loop. Got to join it and tie my knot. So now I have 4, and I only need 1 more to finish this row. So I'm going to do my 1 more 3 chain, of 5. Let's see. Did I do 5? 1, 2, 3. Oops, I did 6. So you just, if you do too many, just pull off one of them on the end until you get your right amount. And then I got to do my picot and 5 more. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's the 5. Pull it off. So I'm going to do one more ring. And make sure all these rings are pretty much equal in size. You don't want them one big, one little. You just want to be very uniform. Okay, 1, 2 double stitches, then 1 picot, because it makes it curve. Go into the second picot of the previous ring and get that up on that. So I got it up there on this. It's hanging from the picot's hanging there, and I got to do one more part of the rest of that stitch, and then I've got to do another, because it's got 2 stitches in between each picot, and I've got 3 more to do. 1 picot, 2 picot, 3 picots. All right, there you go. So I'm going to pull this off and tie a knot. Okay, so here's my first row. Okay, so I don't take anything off. I'm going to tie one more knot here just to secure it a little better. And this makes a nice little, if you just do this, one row. And I sell these too that are just one row. They're a little, the others are a little more frilly. So what you're going to do is take it like this, lay your needle right in the middle, and like you're gonna do another chain, but this time I'm going to do 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is actually easier because we're not doing any more rings. We're just doing chains. So I got 6 on here. And I'm going to do a little picot, a bigger picot, and another small picot, about the same size as the first one you did. And I'm going to put 6 more double stitches on here. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 1 more, 6. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So that was easy. So you pull this off of here, and you're going to actually tie a knot at the end so it doesn't unravel or come out and get loose. This time, though, you're going to take this chain and you're going to bring it around to the top of the other chain. See what I'm doing? I'm bringing it around. Oops, sorry. I'm bringing it around and put it on top of the other one. And I'm going to take that needle and go down into the tatting I've already done. See what I did? I put my needle right through that tatting that I've already done and attach it. See, I've attached it. And I'm going to tie a knot. And you're going to do this very same thing all the way across. See there, you've got your, see how I did that one? This is the same way. I got to straighten it up a little bit, but it's the same thing. And we're going to do that 4 more times. So I tied a little knot. Let's do the same thing again. 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And make a little picot. And a bigger one. And another picot the same size as the other small one. And 6 more chains. I mean double stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there you go. So there's your, you're going to pull that off your needle and do the very same thing. Straighten it up, get it around there to where it's going over your first row, and tie that knot to keep it to where it doesn't get loose, and go into see where I went into that to attach it to the bottom row. There you go. And tie a knot. So let's do that 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Little picot, bigger picot, smaller picot, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we, looks just like the one we just finished, right? It should. I'm going to pull that a little bit tighter so I can tie a knot. There you go. So then I'm going to do the very same thing again. Go down into that first row in the middle there. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get into those stitches. All right. Pull that and tie another knot to secure it. There, see, there's the 3. So 1 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Small picot, larger picot, small picot, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, pull it off, straighten it up, tie a knot, and you're going to go, to finish it up, you're going to go right into here, right at the end of your chain. So I'm going to go right into that part. So there we have it, right at the end. And I'm going to tie a knot. Oops, let's see what happened here. Oops, I got an extra little knot, which you just need to get your, there we go. Sometimes you get little knots and they look like picots, but you want to get that out of there because you don't want that there. I'm going to tie, all right, so there we are. See? And I've got to hide these strings. So I'm going to go down into my, you see how I did that? I went down into my thread down here, into one of my rings, and I'm going to hide it that way. That way you won't see the end of it. And I just do one. You can do both of them if you want, but I think if I just get one in there, it's not going to come out. And you have to be really careful here because you could cut one of these picots and you don't want to do that. I have done that, which is just like horrible. As you spend all that time doing it and then you cut a picot, it's just not good. So I'm going to cut this other one off. There. And it looks pretty much like this one, doesn't it? So I have, in the past, done another row. And, I mean, you can do as many rows as you want, but every time you do a row, like this one I added, the first row had 5 double stitches with a picot. The second one had 6 double stitches with 3 picots, so that made it longer. So, but I wouldn't do 3 picots. If you're going to do like 4 or 5 rows coming out, I would not do 3. I'd keep it to 1 little picot between, and the last row do the 3. So maybe I would do 5 and then maybe 7, because you're adding more length to it. You have to add more length to it every time you do another row. Maybe 8, 5, 8, 11. You just have to play with it to see the look you want. And you can also, this is how you do a medallion. Like I show how to do a medallion, except this is a short one. And you can make a really pretty flower with the medallion. And do I've done 10 rows, and it makes a big flower. And it's just really fun. I mean, if you have a lot of time to kind of experiment. So anyway, this is my double row of I don't know what you would call this, trim. My double row of trim. And it has the 3, I like the 3 picots at the top because it kind of finishes it out. And like I said, you can straighten all these out a little bit with your needle and make them to where they're let's see, more even. The thing about, I don't know about shuttle tatting, but the thing about needle tatting is you have some play with making things look uniform, and you can pull with your needle and make it a little tight or a little looser. You can't really make it tighter, but you can make it looser. Like if this middle one right here wasn't big enough, you could just pull it out a little bit with your needle, and you can make it like the other ones. So I hope this helps you. Man, it's 30 minutes to do this. It doesn't take me that. It takes me a while to do these, but not 30 minutes, because, of course, when you're trying to teach something, it takes longer. So anyway, I just finally did one, and I'll try to get some more on here, some newer ones, because, I have other things that I do that I experiment a lot and come up with, different combinations. And lately I've been doing the combinations with the flowers, and I think it looks really pretty with those really delicate little trims that you can buy on. I buy them on Amazon, and I use them a lot in my tatting. And if you, I'll put a link down to my, I don't know, I've told some people about my page on Facebook. It's called Little Lace Lady by Linda. And I have about 10 years of tatting on there, which, it starts from the beginning, and then I started experimenting and doing different things. And I show a lot of the finished things. So maybe you can get some ideas of what, if you like this tatting, you can get some ideas of what you would like to use as trim. And, that's the fun of it. It's just, I like tatting, but I like to also figure out, okay, now how could I make this look a little different? And so that's the fun of it for me. So thank you again for watching. And if you have any questions, just put them down below and I'll be happy to answer them. All right, have a great day. Bye.